Grunberg, your sales coach, and this is the start of the sales process. And before I go through the sales process, I want to explain a little bit about the format that we will be using. All these recordings will be very short and concise, so you can count on them all being under 10 minutes. Most will be between 5 and 7 minutes. Because they're going to be very concise, they'll be easy for you to go to specific things that you want to know or learn about. The first time through, I would recommend that you listen to all of them. You could always skip one if you're in it and you don't like it, of course. And one of the things that will be happening is that there will be a foundation of 12 basic parts of the sales process. And then there'll be tangents off of that. Additionally, a lot of this is going to be focused around a question-based selling process. So in each module, we'll be developing questions. In some of those modules, you will have some downloadable documents. I just want to kind of set the groundwork here before we go into all the different categories. So there are over 50 steps in the sales process. We have got it down to and narrowed it to 12 that I believe are basic and that we will tangent off on those. I'm going to go through them quickly here. I'm not going to spend any time what they're about. The first one is going to be lead generation. And that is really the first step. It's more of a marketing piece, but it's also a business development piece for the salesperson. It's on a time management piece of the lead generation. Secondly would be qualifying the prospect, making sure that we are a good fit. Time is one of the largest components of your sales success. It's a huge asset. How you use it is going to really determine much of your success. So you want to spend time with prospects and clients that meet your goals as well as you meeting theirs, and that you have that proverbial fit. Meeting the prospect or client in person, not always possible depending on what your trade is. However, this is something that we'd highly recommend. And if you can't meet them in person, then maybe it's a designated phone meeting or a meeting with an online meeting or webinar or something that has something tangible that they're holding in their hands while you meet them if you're not in person. The next two pieces are interchangeable, and those are determining the budget and developing the scope of work. Sometimes we get the budget first, and then we develop the scope of work around that, mold that around that. And other times we have to figure out the scope of work and then we create the budget for the client. So keep in mind that those are interchangeable, and when you get to those modules, know that you want to listen to both of those for sure. Generating a proposal, and what happens at those steps and how that proposal gets delivered is the next step. Delivering the proposal, explaining features and benefits, overcoming objections. You're in the middle of the process now and you've already spent a lot of time. This is a very key part of the sales deal. So that will be a little bit longer, and that explanation will be some tangents on that. You want to set up finalize a meeting to close the sale if you don't do it when you deliver the proposal. Sometimes you have competitors that are still going to have a chance to deliver their proposals, and that'll come into, should you be first one in, middle one in, last one in, and that'll be a separate module. Following up. Decisions aren't always made depending on your industry. The sales cycle may be longer or shorter. So if you were in pest control and you went to visit a potential client and they had a rodent or a bug infestation, they're probably not going to wait 6 weeks to make a decision. However, if you're doing something in structural steel and it's a blueprint project and maybe there's a general contractor involved, that could have a longer sales cycle. But following up is certainly a key element, because we want to get a conclusion. We want to win, a lose, or a draw. A draw is a no decision. The project was not awarded, And candidly, sometimes I believe a lose could be better than a draw, because a draw means that we didn't qualify well enough to make sure that we were going to get a project completed. Certainly performing the project to the client's satisfaction, key part of the operational division of your company. But you're involved in that too, because depending if you have project managers or what your quality performance is, there has to be a satisfied project at the end. Sometimes there's checklists and punch lists and walkthroughs and what have you. We want to talk about that in the sales process. And finally, kind of a adaptation from the old insurance sales adage, we want to obtain testimonials and referrals. But we do that in a different way today than what I'll call the old school methodology. So those are the basic steps. You will see the modules listed. Welcome aboard. Enjoy, and you certainly can go through our communication process and filter comments and questions back to us. Thank you.